Now that we've got our bee showing up and the camera appearing, let's trigger some cinematics so that our bee can do a cool fly-in. Let's add a bee cinematics underneath the bee encounter. I'm going to right click, choose create empty, and call this bee cinematic. I'm going to add a playable director. And then we're going to need a playable asset. So I'll go into my cinematics folder, right click, choose create, and we're going to create another timeline. We'll call this bee intro. And then we'll drag it onto that bee cinematic. There we go. Now we're going to double click and open it up. And what I want to do first is make our bee fly in. Let's double click on the bee. I want to make him fly in from up here and do a little loop and kind of present himself, all while he's doing his animations. So I'm going to go to the bee cinematic that's got my playable director, and I'm going to create a new track. We're going to use an animation track, and we're going to take this bee root object and use that as the thing that we're animating. If we look at the bee root, you see that it doesn't have an animator on it, but the child down here, the base object, is the one that has the animator that's doing all of the animation stuff. And we're going to dive deeper into that in a moment. But for now, we're going to go back and go to our bee cinematic, and we're going to take the bee root and drag it onto that animator track. And it's going to want to add a new animator to the bee root. So we're going to hit create animator on bee root and then hit record. Now we can select this bee root object and notice that it now has an animator. We can hit W to go into move mode and start adding some keyframes. So right now at 0, it's going to be way up here. I'm going to go to the 2-second mark and drag it down to here so that it's going to fly way down there. And then at the 3-second mark, I'll have it go down a little bit more and forward. Then at 4 seconds, I'll have it kind of come up. And at 5, let's make it go up a little bit more and backwards. And 6, we'll go back that way. 7, I'm going to come back down here. And you can see what I'm doing, just kind of dragging it into a circle. Go forward a second and kind of loop it around. And I think that's kind of a good circle. I'll stop recording now. And if I press play, I can watch my bee do his animation. Let's see him kind of go through that entire thing. But I just realized that I don't have a keyframe at the beginning where he's off screen. So I'm going to hit record again. We'll go select that bee root one more time. Actually, it was already selected. And I'll just drag him up here. So now let's stop recording and play one more time. And we should see him do kind of that full fly in, loop around, kind of loop, 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 and then drop down and pop back up into that position. So it seems like a decent enough animation. You're welcome to adjust yours as much as you want. Just remember the wings are going to be flapping in just a moment. Right now they're not. So we'll go now to our bee trigger, and we're going to add another event or another event registration on the event trigger happening. So I hit plus, and it added a copy of the existing one. Instead, I'm going to take the bee cinematic, drag that in as the target, find its playable director, and choose play. Now I need to also go to my bee cinematic and make sure that play on awake is not checked so that that doesn't play automatically. And we'll save. And now just to save some time and speed things up, I'll go to my player, hit F, let's zoom in, and let's zoom out a little bit. Now I'm going to hit W and move him over so that he's right near the water, and then save so that I can just jump right over the water, make sure the cinematic works, and not have to run it quite as far. So we're going to be testing this quite a bit. So we run over here. View changes, the bee flies in, he does a taunting little scary loop, and ends in his correct position. I can still shoot through him. We haven't really set him all up, but his cinematic is happening, and it's doing what I expect it to do. Now, I think the last thing I want to do is find some sound effect of some bees and have that kick off and start playing. Open Game Art. Looks like it's got a couple of options. I'll take this single bee sound and I'm going to download it. We'll open that zip up. And then we've got this one bee.wave. Let's just drag it into the project. So you can go find whatever bee sound you want. I'm going to take this one and drop it right into my audio folder. Copy. We'll right click, hit show in Explorer, and then now that we're in the Explorer folder, paste, And now it'll appear. There we go. Got the B file. The reason for that was that it was inside of a zip. So I think, let's see, how do I want to add our B sound effect? Let's do it inside of our cinematic. Let's just play the B sound when the cinematic kicks off. So to do that, we'll go into the timeline. We'll go add a new audio track. And here again, we're going to need an audio source. So I'll add the B encounter itself as the source. And then that's going to add an audio source to the B encounter. And then right here, we'll add a new clip. And it's going to be our B clip. I think I'll just let it play. Oh, let's just let it play here and loop. So to make it loop, we'll just check the loop box and then drag it out. You can see that it'll loop all the way to the end, and I'm going to save and press play. Now we should be able to run over there, see our B do his animation, and hear a little bit of a taunting B sound for a second. All right, I'm going to stop playing. I don't want him buzzing anymore. We'll go back into plastic and I'm going to make sure that we've saved everything. So we've added the B intro and we'll check that in.